And welcome to Punches and Pundits, the brand new MMA podcast with me and my brother Mo. UFC 302 literally just happened. We're a couple hours removed. And where do we start? We start off with Dustin Poirier against Islam Makhachev.
Crazy fight.
I could not believe, I have to be honest, I could not believe my eyes when it came down to Dustin's takedown defense. It was mad because considering his record against, so you got Khabib, you got Charles Oliveira, where his grappling, we all know what it led to. Yeah. But the amount of work that he put because he's training with Gamrot.
Yeah.
And I think that really helped him when it comes down to, his takedown defense was proper. He had Islam Makhachev really scramble for a couple days, some sloppy takedowns. So you have to give credit to Dustin there.
The whole of ATT, you look at ATT, that whole camp, there's no way he was showing up to that fight lacking in the wrestling. What impressed me the most as well was his takedown defense in the center of the cage. Makhachev had no solutions for that. The only time Makhachev really took him down was against the fence. We pushed him against the fence. And you could hear his coaches as well in the corner, because I was listening closely to the coaches. They were like, do not let him back you up. And this is the thing with those Dagestan fighters as well. You know what they're going to do? They're going to pressure you, push you against the fence and try to take you down. The only time Makhachev took him down in the center of the cage is when he finished him. That fifth round when he got the ankle pick. Because he ran out of ideas. He couldn't get with the single, he couldn't get with the double. Got the ankle pick, spun him around. It's one of the weirdest takedowns I've seen.
Like,
crazy, man.
To put it in context, for him to do that in the fifth round, knackered.
Yeah.
To have just to be aware, to do that. Yeah. To then go into a guillotine, to know that that's not going to work, to then transition into a DAS so swiftly.
No, it's crazy.
22, 23 minutes into a fight where he's cut up, he's seen his own blood. My biggest takeaway from this is that Islam Makhachev has got that dog in him.
No,
he's got that dog in him.
The funny thing is as well, they were joking about that guilloutine thing, because it's Dustin's thing to go for guillotines. And
that would have been crazy
if he got him with the guillotine.
Yeah.
And obviously Dustin's talking about retiring as well. That would have been a crazy way. But these guys, man. Makhachev, you're right, man. Relentless. He's got that dog in him. Went for the guillotine. He's all cut up. He's busted. There's blood everywhere. Couldn't get the guillotine. Got him with the dust.
Yeah,
crazy
and
a lot of people are talking about Poirier. Obviously, it was an amazing performance from Poirier. One of Makhachev's toughest fights. We know what Makhachev's like. But for Poirier to obviously do that is amazing. But we need to give respect to Makhachev as well, because it was one of his toughest fights. He had to overcome adversity. He fights guys where it's easy for him to take the opponent down. It's what he does. They take you down, they dominate. But this was a fight where the guy showed a bit of resistance.
Especially considering the first round. When I watched the first round, I was like, Dustin is in trouble. You know when he's going like this, protecting the neck? Do that for 5 minutes. He had
his back for 3 minutes.
And he got clipped.
That could have been a 10-8 that round.
Yeah, but he got clipped. And that's how the takedown came around. But like with Islam Makhachev, we saw like in Volkanovski, with the Volkanovski first fight, we saw that was a war. That was a very close fight. Yeah. So we saw that there's intangibles for him. Yeah. But this one here, it was a mixture between Dustin literally having one of the best performances of his career and Islam Makhachev he did want to strike with him.
No.
He did want to strike with him in the clinch. You know when he grabbed Dustin's head like this and then he was throwing the knees.
Yeah, broke his nose.
But that elbow from Dustin. Dustin wanted it. Dustin wanted to be champion.
He didn't show up. It wasn't one of those ones where it's my last title shot. I'm just gonna give it a go.
I feel like maybe that played on his mind where like this is it. He went to the depths, and it is a shame that he got finished. Yeah, because it would have been nice for him to
go out on
unanimous decision.
If it was a unanimous, it would have been what? What do you reckon?
The scorecards. I think
I didn't see them.
Makhachev was up by at least 2 rounds, 3 rounds. So Makhachev would have won, but it's just like, but to have that finishing instinct in the 5th round, that's what's crazy though.
That's the thing. The difference between him and Khabib. Everyone compares him to Khabib. I think he doesn't have Khabib's wrestling relentless, because I think Khabib would have got those takedowns in the center of the cage. But he has that finishing
striking
instinct.
though, man.
And obviously he's a better striker. That's not even.
He landed some nice shots on Dustin.
Yeah, he landed nice shots. But the thing is, with him, it's that relentlessness. He wants to finish. That's the difference between him and Khabib. He went for that guillotine. We don't really see Khabib go for guillotines and Dustin's. Khabib's the guy...
rear naked choke.
Rear naked, takes her back rear naked, or he'll transition to the triangle or something like that. Or maybe get an armbar. But yeah, he's a guy where we know what we're getting with Khabib. He's more ground and pound. Makhachev's game is not really ground and pound heavy. He's more push you against the fence, take you down. He'll strike with you as well. It just depends on the opponent. If he thinks you're a rubbish striker, he'll strike with you. If he respects your striking like he did against Dustin, he'll wait as the fight goes on. Obviously, he only started striking with him properly as the fight went on when Dustin was a bit tired. But that submission there for me is more to do with Dustin being, I'd say... tired, yeah. Dustin being tired.
No, but he looked that in nice though. He went out. He said, I went out and then I woke up straight away. Yeah. But like, considering where Dustin was last summer, right? Considering where Dustin was last summer, getting head kicked by Justin Gaethje in Utah, no pathway back to the title. For him to get the BSD fight, finish BSD, after the first round where he was kind of getting backpacked and manhandled.
Exactly.
To then circumstances, Arman not taking a fight, Justin Gaethje getting finished, and then he just put on a performance like that. It is mad.
The crazy thing is as well, looking into this fight, I thought it would be a unanimous, dominant win. I mean, me and you were saying first round, second round finish. I saw that Benoit Saint Denis fight. Of course, he knocked him out, but Benoit had his back. If Benoit is taking your back, then imagine what Islam would do. But like I said, fights are not played on paper. You've got to actually get in there and do it. And Dustin, he's talking about retiring, but I think he's got fight left in him. I think he should.
For who though?
Obviously, we've got the McGregor-Chandler fight coming up. If McGregor wins, there's a bit of a storyline there. Of course, he's 2-1. But the second win was not controversial, but it's like McGregor broke his leg. He won in terms of the record, but it's not really, it's not really him winning. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. It sounded like he was kind of like content.
He doesn't care though. He doesn't really give a toss about McGregor, but that's an option for him. I mean, you're right though. Who else really is there? He's pretty much fought everyone else. Yeah, Volkanovski called him out, which was a weird call out. Does Volkanovski want to stay at 145? Does he want to come into 155? I don't really know, to be honest. But yeah, there's options. Listen, there's always options. He can even go up to 170. He's a big guy.
Yeah, if he fought McGregor, he wouldn't be at 155. Exactly, he would be at 170 now, I think.
And I just think he's a good option to have. You know, he's a company man. He'll fight anyone. He's an asset to the UFC. You know, if Dana gives him a bit of a pay rise, listen, I'll give you a few more $100,000. He'll hang around.
I don't know if it's about money though. If he's not in the title picture.
You're right. He did say that. It was like, listen, if I'm not fighting for a belt, if I'm not in contention, if I'm not one of the best, then what? Am I just going to fight to fight? He's like, I've done that. I've been there, done that. Which makes sense. He is, what is he, 35, 36 now?
35 years old, yeah.
That's still, I mean, that's not old for a fighter.
But I feel like when the dust settles and he's just sitting in bed, he's going to be like, I literally put on one of the best performances of my career. To end it like that, I just don't know if that's going to sit well with him. I don't know if that's gonna sit well with him, where he's just gonna be like, and he's a dog. Like he loves fighting.
He
loves fighting though. That's what I'm saying. Like for him to end just like that, just be like, oh, I think it's done. When if McGregor chins Chandler, and he's like, I want Dustin.
You know what it is. I think it's more in the moment. He's emotional. He's not gonna get.
Yeah, but it's not like he took his gloves off or anything like that. Nah, it seemed more like.
Nah, it's in the moment thing. He's emotional. Do you know what I mean? He's How many title shots is that now at lightweight? He's not going to get another title shot at lightweight. Do you know what I mean? And if Makhachev's still there, he's not getting another title shot. So it's more in the moment. Obviously, his first time, his daughter came to the fight as well.
I'm not trying to be funny, but like, if he really wanted to, if let's say he didn't want to retire and he really wanted to, he literally had a full-on... I know Makhachev was winning, but it was a full-on war. Like, if he would have survived that and it went unanimous decision, even look at back in the day, Kamaru Usman against Colby Covington. That was a super close fight. Yeah. And then Covington got finished at the end. Everyone was like, we need a rematch. Yeah. During that fight, I was like, is this a potential rematch fight? Like, because Dustin done really well, but yeah, it just seems like it might be, in his heart of hearts, he just wants to he made so much money after the McGregor fights, got the hot sauce. And you just feel like, damn.
Yeah, it's just, I just think, I'll be real, I don't think he's retiring. I think it's an in-the-moment thing. It's a thing where he's emotional. I mean, his family were there. I think his whole family were there.
Yeah, his daughter was there for the first time.
That's what I'm saying. So it's a thing where I lost in front of my daughter. I think his daughter was crying as well. So it's a thing where, listen, I think we'll see him again. Probably take a bit of a break, you know.
Regarding that vote call out, like, it's all depending
Is Volk ready though? Volk's just calling out everybody, but is Volk ready?
He needs to rest his head.
That knockout was a heavy knockout.
Both in a row. He got head kicked.
But that Topuria knockout was heavy, so he needs to relax. Like, I don't want to see him for a year, Volkanovski. Take a break. He's a company man. Take a break because if he loses one more time, that's him done, bro. He's finished. So he needs to really.
He really went from like I remember just watching Volkanovski just going crazy.
No, he's still like, what's he on a pound for pound list now? Because at one point he was what 1 or 2. He wasn't
probably like 6 or 7.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Look at that.
But
one more loss, he's probably out of the top pound for pound.
But not even just that. Like it all depends on Topuria Holloway. And Dana White in the press conference was saying, we're working on something for the BMF, like on the BMF belt. So you know how it was like, Topuria said, I won't put my belt on the line unless the BMF belt is on the line. Yeah. So if they do Topuria, Holloway, BMF, and 145 title, oh my goodness. Then Volk waits out.
Fights the winner.
Either fights the winner or in the meantime, back end of the year, he fights Dustin. Yeah. I mean, if it's one of those, if it gets announced, I will be there, popcorn ready at 5 o'clock in the morning to watch it. But I don't know, man.
No, I don't want that fight for Holloway though. I've said it many times. For me, Holloway, he looks good at 155. You look at the 145 pound picture as well. There's a few guys out there that are ready to fight Topuria. You've got Ortega. You've got. I
can't lie though.
You've got Movsar. People forget about Movsar. Movsar. You've got Aljamain Sterling. The 145 pound divisions. I mean, there's a few guys out there. So I'd say Holloway stay at 155.
But if Topuria tucks in Holloway.
Yeah, but who has tucked in Holloway? I've never seen Holloway get tucked in.
With Topuria.
No, Holloway's built different. I've never seen Holloway get
Max is
flattened. Max is just different, bro. If Gaethje can't flatten you, do you reckon?
Yeah, but MMA maths don't work like that.
Yeah, I know, but do you reckon Topuria hits harder than? Of course,
it's not about hitting harder.
No, you've got to look into the weight cut as well. You're right.
Yeah, I don't think it's about hitting harder. I think it's about the accuracy.
But I think, listen, if you look like that at 155, the way he looked, for me, that's his best performance of his career. You look at that performance, yeah.
Which fight?
I mean, that performance against Gaethje. I mean, you could probably say the performance against. I keep forgetting his name.
Ortega back in the day. Yeah.
That was probably a solid performance as well. But
Korean Zombie.
But
he's developed like knockout power a little bit though.
Even Calvin K. That's the fight I was thinking about. That Calvin K performance.
That was
it was beating. It was giving him help, like showing him how to defend punches and stuff.
He was doing that with Ortega back in the way.
No, that run, Max Holloway was a freak. But I think he can have a little second run here. You know, a bit of a second win.
But Topuria could wrestle Max. That's what I'm trying to say.
But I've never seen Max get out dominated in the wrestling. He was meant to fight Khabib.
Yeah, that would have been the day. Yeah.
But then Khabib, obviously, that fight was one where he had to kind of put in last minute. He couldn't make the weight. Of course, Tony was meant to fight Khabib. Tony kind of got injured. It was a weird one, that one. And he ended up fighting Yaquinta. I remember there was the McGregor one.
Volk didn't really take Max down, did he?
No, I mean, and even if you take Max down, good luck holding him down. And 155 for me
Max is
perfect.
What, 32, 33?
He's young. He's young. Bro. Which is crazy.
That Topuria Max Holloway fight.
No, that's a fight
that is a humongous fight.
For his legacy, Topuria at 145 pounds, if he wants to be seen as a great, of course he's beating Volkanovski. You've got to have Holloway on your resume. Because Holloway's a guy that's been there, done that. How many title defenses? Holloway has more defenses than Volkanovski, doesn't he?
Ooh, it must be close. He done Aldo a couple times.
Exactly.
Ortega.
So, I mean, if he hasn't done more, it's close.
The first Volkanovski fight was during COVID, no? It was 2020. That was nearly like 4 years ago.
I mean, people even say that fight shouldn't have went to Volkanovski. It was that close.
Yeah. The second one, definitely.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. The third one was a unanimous. Yeah, Volkanovski battered him.
Yeah. But back to actually like UFC 302. What's next for Islam Makhachev? Because he called out
the champion at one welterweight, so he wants the winner of Edwards Bilal.
I think what will happen is if Edwards beats Bilal, 100%. He'll 100% push for it. If Bilal beats Leon, he'll wait. No, he won't wait. He'll fight Arman Sarukian.
Yeah, he won't fight.
Because they're same management, aren't they?
Yeah, and they train together as well. They're brothers. You know, what I mean, we won't see them fight. But of course, that Edwards fight, they've got history as well.
Yeah, because he trained at AKA.
When Edwards lost that Usman fight the first time, obviously everyone was talking about your wrestling's poor. He went to AKA, which is obviously known for their wrestling. Well, not as much now, but back in the day, it was a wrestling hotspot. You had all the best wrestlers go there. He went there to train, and of course Makhachev's there, a young Makhachev, and rumours were that Makhachev wiped the floor with him.
I'll tell you one thing.
That was the
After
rumours.
watching yesterday, Islam Makhachev is not taking Leon Edwards.
No, he's not.
He's
not taking him down at the centre of the cage. If he was struggling to take down Poirier at the centre of the cage,
he will not.
Then he's not.
Because Kamaru Usman couldn't like take down.
This is a
Leon
different.
Edwards.
Makhachev cannot fight the way he fought
Yesterday.
Not even yesterday. It was
because Edwards. I don't know if the odds came out tomorrow.
Edwards' favourite. I mean, you're right. If it comes out tomorrow, no, because of Makhachev's, he just fought.
No, but it's definitely close. Considering like what was Makhachev yesterday? He was, I mean, Poirier was like plus 400 underdog. Like, it would definitely be very, very close. Like
100%.
And I mean, if we're being honest, everyone's expecting Edwards to beat Bilal at 3 or 4.
But listen, I keep saying, do not sleep on Bilal. It's those fights where you go in overconfident. You know, you think you're gonna dominate. Bilal Muhammad is on a mad win streak. You know, he's on what? 8 in a row, 9 in a row. The guy's a serious
Some good
guy.
wins, man.
Of course,
every single time he'll come up against someone. Like I remember when he's fighting Gilbert Burns, I was like,
I thought Gilbert hadn't, but in Gilbert, I think he got injured mid-fight.
He got injured.
But regardless,
Sean Brady,
use that as an excuse. Sean, that's an impressive win. Sean's a wrestler, but of course, you've got to also think: is Bilal a better wrestler than a prime Kamaru?
Bro, they fought. They've been in the octagon together. Obviously, it ended with the eye poke.
Yeah,
but
he was dominating.
He hurt Bilal with a high kick.
Is Bilal the same fighter? Is Bilal the same fighter he was then?
He's improved.
And this is one thing I pose to everyone that talks about that fight: is Bilal a better wrestler than a prime Kamaru Usman? He's not.
Whoa, no way.
He's not. So if a prime Kamaru Usman, which obviously that rematch they had was a prime Kamaru.
Yeah, but Usman's
couldn't
knees
hold
are
him down.
shot though.
But he couldn't hold him down. He couldn't hold down Leon Edwards. His wrestling basically meant nothing at the end. So if he couldn't dominate in the wrestling, if he couldn't hold him down, I don't see Bilal doing it. But then again, you're right. MMA math don't work.
It is hard to
Bilal
see.
could
Like
show up on the
obviously
night.
striking wise, Leon's got the advantage, and then
And
could
even
Bilal
defense.
just take him down? Like, but I don't know if Leon's not fully like prepared.
Yeah. But then obviously Leon, it's been a while since he fought last. I mean, his last fight was what? How long ago?
His last fight was
it not
Colby. No, it was
Colby actually. Yeah, you're right, Colby.
What was that? 296? No, that wasn't that far back.
Yeah.
But that fight was weird, man. Colby put out a stinker that day.
Yeah, Colby.
And then
how did I forget about that Colby fight? I'm thinking his last fight was the.
no, he's fought since.
Colby, yeah.
He's fought since, but
it was a smooth. Yeah, that was he cruised to it.
But then let's talk about, let's say the 170 thing doesn't happen. Then he's got Arman Sarukian.
You've got the Sarukian rematch,
which they've fought before.
I just think it's a case where they will just nullify each other in the wrestling, a bunch of scrambles, and I just think Makhachev will outbox him. He's a better kickboxer. I don't see Sarukian. I don't see Makhachev dominating the wrestling because Sarukian can wrestle. If you watch their first fight, the scrambles were insane.
I'm actually.
But on the feet, I think Makhachev's a better striker. I think Makhachev will just keep him at range.
I'm actually. Now that we're talking about it, I'm fuming. Charles just didn't get it done, man.
Charles has always had that poor wrestling defense, though. That's the problem with Charles.
No, it's because he's.
I don't know what's wrong.
No, but the thing is, it's like because he's so willing to use his jiu-jitsu. That's why. Against Benil Dariush, when he decided to get up and it was like enough of that, head kicked him, finished him.
Yeah, but these Caucus guys are different. These guys like.
I mean, he was this close from getting
the submission
Sarukian out of there. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That guillotine was tight.
No, it was.
And fair play to Arman. He done enough to win. And that's another thing as well regarding Islam Makhachev. Yeah, like I remember back at UFC 280. I mean, I'm the biggest Charles Oliveira fan, avid supporter, and I was like, no, like Charles is gonna get it done. I felt like Charles had an off night that night. Obviously, Islam becomes champion. But what Islam's done since, I have to respect it. I have to be like, he is better than I expected. His striking's better than I expected. And his grit and determination is there.
That kick he throws, that axe kick, that he lifts his leg above his head. How does he do that?
He's really good.
Yeah,
he's really good. And like, just a willingness in the clinch. Like every time I see him go like this, and just bring the knees up, I'm like, one of these days, that one is going to go straight on someone's chin. And it's going to be... He's just so willing to go into the clinch with like Dustin... But Dustin was landing nice body shots yesterday. Like even in the clinch, he was just winning and boom, boom, boom. Yeah. But it's just like, it's the grip.
With Sarukian, do you think he has a chance against Makhachev? Because with Sarukian as well, like I said, I just think Makhachev...
The scrambles are going to be crazy.
The scrambles are crazy. But there's that one strike that Sarukian throws. That's that axe kick I was talking about. Oh my gosh. Where he just lifts his leg and it doesn't make any sense.
He nearly knocked out Charles with that.
Yeah, he got Charles with that. I was
like, but he knocked out Dariush. Like, he's got knockout power if he lands correctly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a possible, you know, risky fight for Makhachev. It's a fight where he's got to win over him. He's expected to win. But Sarukian could just show up and shock everybody. Sarukian has the ability to win. But you're right. With Makhachev, it's not just about skill. He has that grit and
Makhachev would still be a strong favourite.
Oh, of course. Makhachev's a favourite against every lightweight.
Yeah.
The odds will change when
he's never been underdog since he's been in the UFC.
I mean, even as a contender, I mean...
What's his winning streak now? 14? 15?
I mean, since that loss, I mean, that loss was how long ago? That loss where he got knocked out. I don't remember the guy.
Very early days.
I mean, he hasn't lost since.
But what is it going to take for him to be the undisputed best lightweight ever and legacy above Khabib? You know, if he goes double champ status,
100%.
Yeah,
that will 100% solidify it.
Because Khabib retired too.
But I reckon get one more defense in against Sarukian.
One defense.
But then the thing is, he took damage. That cut, like you spoke about, that elbow. Yeah, that cut is going to take a lot of stitches. It'll take a while.
What was it? It was an elbow.
It was an elbow off the clinch. I think Dustin got up after a takedown and just got him with an elbow, and you could see the blood gushing, and it was a deep cut. His corner work did a good job because they quickly kind of got rid of it, and we didn't see too much blood after. But post-fight, when I looked at it,
yeah, it's going to have to be taken care of.
That was rough, and that will be a thing where it will leave a permanent mark.
Where did he say he wanted to fight next? I think he said Madison Square Garden, isn't it? November.
I think that MSG is locked in for Jones's return. I just think Jones...
Well, you don't think he could be co-main?
Yeah, but would you...
I mean, that's
to be honest, they do stack up their MSG cards.
MSG, that's John Jones, Miocic, Islam, Arman Sarukian. Yeah. That is a
no, but they do.
Card.
You're right. They do stack up the MSG cards. All MSG cards are stacked. So, yeah, you're right. They could do Jones, Steve.
Because he said he wants to fight.
And
he wants.
But I think it'd be a co-main if he fought Sarukian. If he fights Leon Edwards, that can't be a co-main. That has to be a main. You can't do champ versus champ.
Yeah,
his opportunity.
Has there ever been a champ v champ co-main?
No, I don't think there is. There hasn't. Unless McGregor's the main event, then you could do that. But even McGregor now, I don't think you could put him over a champ fight. You just have to give him his own card. You can't do.
Yeah, you wouldn't put a champ fight. And like the UFC don't even stack McGregor cards like that anymore.
But to be honest,
because they know people are gonna buy it.
Yeah, you're right. No, it's a marketing tool. You'd rather spread the stars across a bunch of pay-per-views than put them all on one card. Why would you waste that? You could squeeze a few millions out of the other pay-per-views.
That's why. Where's Izzy? Because now if we move swiftly to the middleweight division, obviously the co-main event. I'm not gonna lie. I got a bone to pick a little bit because
it was never.
You know, like in the build-up, you have Sean Strickland where he's like, "Here's the thing, you guys. We're gonna bleed for you." And like, it's gonna be a war. I'm doing it for America, and it's just like I don't blame him particularly for yesterday, but that was an underwhelming scrap. I just have to be honest.
From who though? From who?
Especially Costa, because Strickland just weighed in on the gas tank of Costa.
But I think you're putting too much respect on Costa's name. Costa's never been that guy though. Let's be real. Like he's not.
When he first came to the UFC, during the commentary, Joe Rogan was like, since he fought Izzy, he's not the same guy. You look at clips of Costa coming up as a contender. Oh my! It was a bulldozer. No,
remember that Hendricks?
Yeah, Hendricks. Romero. Yeah. I mean, that scrap was crazy.
It was a back and forth. Yeah, I mean, he
didn't fight Uriah Hall as well. Yeah, absolutely obliterate him.
But Uriah's always been a guy where
touch and go. But Costa. But this is what I'm saying. One fight ago against Whitaker, he was 30 seconds away from finishing.
He didn't fight the whole of 2023, Paulo Costa.
Yeah, and he's had 2 fights in the last 4-5 months.
So how can he build momentum? How can he put on some form? You can see the talent, but does he want it?
And also, why was the fight 5 rounds? That's a whole debate. That's a whole debate.
The UFC, they're weird. I was watching that fight. I promise you, after the 3rd round, I got up. thought, yeah, let me go to downstairs. I mean, it's 6 a.m. I'm half asleep. I'm like, let me get a drink because I need to get a coffee or something to keep me awake for the main event. But the main event woke me up. Thankfully, it was a great fight. And I come up and they're fighting. I'm like, what's going on? How's it a 5-round fight? The UFC are too inconsistent. Sometimes they'll make a co-main 5 rounds when they want to. But
the thing is, this is what I don't understand. They made a fight like Chandler Poirier 3 rounds, Chandler Gaethje 3 rounds.
Why?
But you're doing Costa
Strickland
5 rounds,
which is let's be real. I expected Strickland to win. I don't know about you, but for me, it was a normality. I thought Strickland would do exactly what he'd done. If anything, he was more dominant than I thought.
He was more dominant.
No.
Costa's leg kicks, but
he had at the start. Towards the end, he was checking them. You could see that there was a round where
Costa's gas tank just left him. You could see like he was just so tired and like, but the bone that I have to pick is that it wasn't a war. Like, don't say we're gonna bleed, we're gonna make it a madness, and then obviously I don't blame Strickland too much because he's just like jab, bring the leg up, jab,
his
jab,
style
jab.
is the
But Costa was just going back all the time.
Yeah, but listen, with
Strickland,
Strickland,
he had to make it a scrap for him to win. He had to get in Strickland's face.
Yeah, that's the only way.
And swing. Look at the time Strickland's been knocked out or dealt with. Alex Pereira was just like, you ain't walking me down. I'm putting a left hook on your chin.
But with
what was Costa doing?
With Strickland, that's the thing with Strickland. That's his style. He presses you, pushes you against the fence, straight punches, good defense, and that teep kick. I saw a picture after the fight. I think Costa put it on his Instagram.
Yeah.
His whole like mid, like his where his
red.
gut is red. He's got scars. I mean, that teep kick was money. And he does it every fight.
He's probably one of the best in the UFC at the teep.
It's not telegraphed at all. It's similar to Pereira's calf kick, where the way he doesn't telegraph it, where it's a signature shot and no one can defend it. This teep kick, I don't see anybody defending it, and it's a perfect rangefinder. It's almost like a jab, the way he does it. Yeah. It's another one of his jabs. But with Strickland, I think that he's locked in for a title shot now.
He's gonna wait it out.
Yeah, I think they might do Adesanya Dracus.
That is definitely happening.
They were talking about the Africa.
Was it 305 for Perth?
Perth, yeah. They were talking about Africa, but I don't think that's happening in South Africa.
Don't get me started about UFC Africa. Dana White has been saying UFC Africa for so long.
Yeah.
He had Ngannou, Usman, and Izzy.
Yeah, if you couldn't put on that South Africa card or whatever, any country in Africa.
Now he's got a South African champ.
Exactly.
South African champ against Izzy.
Yeah.
And you ain't trying to make UFC Africa, then
he had Ngannou. He had Ngannou. He could have made that Ngannou Jones fight in Africa. Imagine that. That would have been the crazy.
That would have been a massive.
Exactly. He had Usman, who at one point was the best fighter in the world, most dominant welterweight. Everyone was saying he's the greatest welterweight.
Bro, Dana said he's the best welterweight of all time.
I mean, look, it's a good argument. Him and GSP, but I put GSP above him.
That's a convo for another day.
No, I put GSP above him. You're right. Convo for another day, but you're right, actually. GSP above him. Let's leave it
because we could be in for hours if we're talking about GSP or Usman, but Strickland should wait for his title shot. I think he said that he was going to wait anyways. No, but then again, we got Whittaker against Chimaev in like 2 weeks. Chimaev has a crazy performance, somehow finishes Whittaker.
But I don't see...
leapfrogs him.
Yeah, I don't see him finishing Whittaker. I'll be real. That's a 5-rounder, innit? Main event.
5-rounder main event.
Unless he drastically changes his approach. Because this guy, he blows his load too early. He comes out,
gets tired, man.
Goes wild. And you can see as the fight goes on, he fades away. And these are 3-round fights that he's fading in. Imagine a 5-rounder against a guy like Whittaker. Of course, Whittaker, I don't think he's the same guy he was when he had the belt. But Whittaker was he a brown belt? Black belt? He can grapple. He's got solid defense in the wrestling. If he can drag him...
when he fought Dricus du Plessis...
I just think that was an off night, though.
You think so?
I think it was I'm not saying Dracus wouldn't have won, but
because
it was a very poor performance, unlike Whittaker. I don't think he'll show up like that against...
We're talking about if, buts, and maybes, but Costa was 30 seconds away from spinning wheel kicking Whittaker. What would have happened?
But that's a good thing as well. You can look at that and think, he's got heart, he overcame adversity. I mean, he was wobbling all over the place.
Whittaker, it's well known that Whittaker's got that dog in him.
And Chimaev's not really a kicker. Does Chimaev have... I mean, he does have power. I mean, I saw that Meerschaft knockout.
I'm intrigued to see where that fight takes place. I'll be honest, because...
Yeah. I reckon early on, Chimaev takes him down. He's just a better wrestler. I mean, he took down Kamaru Usman. So he'll hold him down. But it's a thing where...
Usman had no camp.
Yeah, you're right. But even a no camp Usman's a better wrestler than Whittaker. Would you say Whitaker's a better wrestler than Kamaru Usman?
Do you think Usman could take down Whitaker? They're not even in the same weight division. Well, they were for that fight.
I don't know where Usman's fighting now, but you know what?
Usman's busy doing this with Cejudo. That's what he's doing, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a podcaster now, man. He needs to shout us, man. He needs to shout us on his podcast, but
his podcast's good, though.
It's quality podcast.
But
yeah, that middleweight division, I'd say, is a very interesting division. But you're right. After that, Chimaev Whitaker will know a lot. We'll see especially if Chimaev wins, he'll probably call out Strickland. I think him and Strickland go back. They were training. I think Chimaev spoke earlier about how he was dominating in the wrestling.
Didn't they offer the Chimaev Strickland fight for Saudi Arabia, and then Strickland was just like, I'm not going there, bro.
Yeah, but no, with Saudi though, there's nothing wrong with Saudi though. I mean, you look at the boxing as well. What's happening with the boxing?
Yeah.
I mean,
no, 100%.
Saudi, no, I know, but with Strickland is a bit. He acts like they're USA. Like, he thinks they're like a backwards country, but they're not. Saudi's probably the best place to fight right now, especially if you want to make a bit of money.
Probably though.
Exactly. So I don't know why.
Well, this is the first UFC event in Saudi Arabia, isn't it?
Yeah, the first one, and they made it a fight night. The fact that fight night,
but that card is stacked though.
It's pretty stacked. There was a few fights announced on there as well.
Wait. The Sanhagen Nurmagomedov. That's not in Saudi.
That's not in Saudi, no. But that Saudi card.
Oh my gosh, that is a cracker.
It's a cracker, and it's a fight night, which shows if they're willing to give up that much talent for a fight night. Imagine what they'll do when they bring a pay-per-view there. I reckon the next pay-per-view, Makhachev has the main event now. And I reckon,
Makhachev?
And I'll put this out there. Makhachev Edwards, if Edwards beats Bilal Muhammad, will be a main event, champ fight in Saudi.
That's not a bad shout.
That's not a bad shout.
Considering Connor's in Saudi all the time, though, to visit the boxing fights and
boxing fights, he's fought there as. I mean, he hasn't fought.
I don't think he would be against fighting there. I'll be honest.
No. McGregor fought in Abu Dhabi. It was the Poirier rematch where he got chinned. Exactly. So, yeah, exactly. McGregor's opponent. His press conference is tomorrow.
Yeah, the press conference is tomorrow. Oh my gosh, the fact that this is like an ultimate throwback. 2017 World Tour, him v Mayweather.
Even I remember when he
was
back in
the day against Aldo, innit?
Remember when he was about to fight Aldo? They did that press
World Tour where you took the belt and you was like, "You ain't gonna do nothing."
Yeah, you don't do nothing. That little kid, remember that little kid in the crowd? Now he's a fighter, you know that little kid.
I'm intrigued to see what sort of how is he gonna approach like?
I mean, he's partying every night leading up to the fight. I don't know if he's a bluff.
I think he's training hard.
I think he's training.
He's training throughout the week and then he's
showing up and just recording just to kind of get in chance.
He's having a little fun, like
because he did that interview on the Mac Life, I think, where he spoke about he hasn't had a drink in how long.
Yeah, he was, bro. He was
smelling it
when he streamed.
People
and he just came at everyone. Called Usman a Malteser head. He said Topurio.
Volkanovski, who's never said anything bad about McGregor.
He said Topurio. Nah.
Yeah, everyone's
but when Connor's like that, just
Topurio reminds him of Artem Lobov.
Little rat.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nah, but
I don't know what you meant by that.
I'm intrigued to see what sort of vibe he comes with Chandler because they don't hate each other.
No, I mean,
but it's gonna get competitive once he sees them face to face. Like we are like 3 weeks away from this fight. Yeah. It's real soon. Conor needs to know, like ultimately, if he gets dealt with and chinned by Chandler, it's not looking good. It's just not looking good.
I'll be real though, with Chandler, he's a bit of the way he fights. Look, he's got so much athleticism, so much explosiveness, can strike and grapple. Yeah. But he just fights.
And he's not gonna go.
Yeah, no, he fights unintelligently. Like you've got the wrestling. Why are you standing with Oliveira? Why are you standing with him? Take him down. He's gonna do the same thing against McGregor. He's not gonna wrestle him like a fool.
But like, do you remember the second round against Poirier where he kept him down? He could have done if he continued that.
Yeah, but he's just, you know what it is. Yeah, he plays to the crowd.
But that's why people
love him. But listen, he's not gonna win your fights.
He's not gonna win a championship.
Did he come here to please the crowd or win a belt? Everyone talks about how Bellator have the better champions. The level of Bellator is similar to the UFC. No, people say on Twitter. I see it all the time.
Oh my god,
I'm always arguing with them.
That is a sticky take.
No, no way. So you've got Chandler, who's probably one of the best champions to come out of Bellator. Come and prove a point. Come and prove a point and show that the level of where you came from.
He was 20 seconds away from, not even, it was like 10 seconds away from chinning Oliveira becoming champion. Yeah, Let's not forget.
But
like,
Oliveira...
He chinned the Dan Hooker, who just came off the Poirier fight.
Yeah, but after that Poirier fight,
he lost some
Dan
brain
Hooker hasn't been the same since that fight.
He
I mean, no, he's doing well now. He's doing well now. I can't lie.
Slowly but surely, innit? But when he went down to like 145 against Arnold Allen, that was a like the weight cut just killed him.
No, I don't understand fighters that do that. I remember like quite a while ago, maybe 8-9 years ago, when Pettis went down to 145, thinking that will give him a little resurgence, and he pulled up against Max Holloway, a prime Max Holloway. So yeah, it's not going down in weight isn't always a smart thing to do.
Yeah, there's loads of...
Unless you're Kayla Harrison, who cut down to 135 pounds.
You have to cut an arm to
I don't know how
weight.
she done it. But listen, Kayla Harrison's a problem. I saw a clip of Dustin Pereira.
Her arms are...
I don't know how she makes 135. She's a 150. The thing is, though, what annoys me, and I said this on my on social media as well, she was at 155 pounds, yeah? And the whole reason why she couldn't come to the UFC was because she couldn't make 135 pounds to fight Cyborg and Nunes, who at the time.
I felt like she just...
What's this nonsense? Now she comes and obviously the 135 pound division isn't as competitive.
But her diet must be so strict.
Yeah, I mean,
her
I don't know
weight cut must be so disgustingly bad.
But what I don't get is, why did she wait until Cyborg left the UFC? And I know Nunes and her are teammates, but still, you can put that to the side for a legacy.
She trains at ATT.
Yeah, they're both at ATT. But Nunes is retired now, but still, they could have fought each other, man. That would have been a crazy fight. That would have been good for like women's MMA as well. For so many years, Nunes had no competition.
Who's the 135 champ at the moment?
The 135. I'll be real with the ladies.
So we got Zhang Weili.
Grass. It's not Grasso. The Grasso's what?
It was a draw, so she's still got the belt. Yeah. 135. Damn, my mind's gone blank. But anyways, yeah.
You should know that actually, 135 pound champion.
Yeah, but going back to the fights as well, something we need to talk about was another fight on the main card. Kevin Holland.
Crazy fight.
He's proper guys with Dana, you know.
Yeah, he's not. You know what it is? Dana had a lot of respect for him.
He called himself I'm like the best gatekeeper in the UFC.
Yeah, with him, he knows he'll never be a champion.
Just mixing matches between
he's chilling, making his money. 170, 185. But Dana loves him because
he just says yes.
He fought Thiago Santos on a few days.
That was a crazy.
And this was the Santos.
Chimaev on 24 hours.
Yeah. So he is a game guy. No matter how much you can say whatever you want about his ability, he's a bit of a troll. You know what I mean? He's not really here to win fights.
Yeah. But then again, you got to think ability-wise, he got clocked with a monster overhand, and for him to have the awareness to go straight for the armbar like that, it's solid grappling.
And Olejniczak, for me, going into that fight, I had Olejniczak winning that fight. Really? The reason is he's the bigger man, fought at like heavyweight. I'm pretty sure he was a heavyweight as well, because I remember seeing this guy fight at heavyweight. So he's fighting a guy a lot bigger than him, more powerful. Olejniczak is a southpaw, quick hands. And after that knockdown, I thought, shit. We might see Holland get knocked out here. I haven't really seen him get knocked out. He's pretty.
That was he's
pretty durable, Holland.
But then
off his back, he showed he's a black belt. Showed composure.
No, but it's honestly like, you know, even when like you're learning jiu-jitsu, you're grappling and stuff, like to knock someone down and then to get caught with a armbar so swiftly like that.
Yeah, that must be.
He must go home. Not only has he got damage on his arm. Yeah, I don't know whether it's broken or dislocated.
Mate, I couldn't watch it. It was a point where the guy didn't want to tap.
Because like Holland was looking at Holland was looking at the ref, and he was just like, "Listen, I go a bit more like this. I'm gonna break it. It's gonna snap."
No, 100%.
You know, weird. Some people said that was a bad stoppage. It wasn't. Should have waited for him to tap.
No. I think it was.
I don't know if it was fully broken.
No. It was. Because at one point it bent that way.
Do you know what it reminded me of? Yeah. Paul Craig, Jamal Hill.
Yeah. But that actually snapped. That was nasty.
No, it was dislocated.
Yeah, but it looked.
No, but that was a bad dislocation. Yeah.
That was rough.
But dislocations are easier to come back than But you got to think, you're a fighter and a proper like arm break. Yeah. That is not a joke. Talking about arm breaks, did you see Jack Della Maddalena? So he broke his arm against Gilbert Burns. And that was another argument that people were saying. They were like, well, JDM fought Gilbert Burns for like two extra rounds with a broken arm and then ended up getting the finish. But at the end of the day, also what I was going to say, JDM, like he's got the nastiest infection because he wanted to fight in Perth.
Yeah, there's a hole in his arm. Yeah. A hole in his arm.
That welterweight division, where's Shafkat's injured as well? I need to see him
One thing about Shafkat, that's the thing as well. We're talking about Makhachev coming up to, 170. Fighting the winner of Bilal and Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
Shavkat deserves a shot. Why is Shavkat gonna wait out?
You think he deserves a shot? Like,
100%.
As soon as he
Shavkat is the bogeyman. He's the Beterbiev of MMA.
I think Shavkat will be champion at some point. But you're saying after beating Wonderboy, he gets the title shot.
But who
and then being inactive, I feel like he's gonna have one more fight.
But who though? Who's gonna fight? Madalena's got this arm thing. This infection.
If Ian Gary beats MVP, if Ian Gary beats MVP,
does Ian
number
Gary
one contender fight.
Does Ian Gary take that fight
against
I
Shavkat?
don't think he does.
They train together at Sanford MMA.
They train together.
Yeah, they train, and he said he would take that fight.
I just think Shavkat, for me, it's a matter of time. I think it's inevitable for him.
But I think he will have to fight one more time.
No, listen, one more time.
Whether that
he's the guy.
Whether that be the loser of the upcoming title fight. Yeah. So let's say Bilal loses. Yeah. Bilal Shavkat.
Imagine throwing Bilal in there after losing to Edwards.
But Shavkat, do you remember Shavkat against Jeff Neal?
Yeah.
And Jeff Neal with the Chris boxing, but he's a zombie.
He's a zombie. Look, you know who he reminds me of? Beterbiev.
Yeah.
You can throw whatever you want at him. He is going to finish you.
That yard Beterbiev fight was.
I mean, I was looking forward to the Bivol Beterbiev. I mean, the boxing last night as well.
5v5.
What annoyed me was that
10-0 for Eddie Hearn.
No, it was for
I was watching. Yeah, I was watching the IFL TV, and he was just like, I have to take it on the chin. I just got like my. To be fair though,
his lineup was tired though. You look at.
But he was
Wilder
just like,
was his captain.
He was Wilder. Like Wilder. Like, do you see the interview? And like Wilder's looking at him like he's just like his eyes are wide open. Like a couple of days before the fight.
With Wilder, it's actually sad. You know, I can't even. People are taking the mick, but you've got to remember Wilder in his prime gave us some good fights, man.
Bro, the couple fights with Tyson Fury, he was
even before that.
But this is what I'm talking about.
He was cleaning
This is what I'm talking about with like fighting and stuff. Yeah, it's such fine margins.
Fine margins, bro. One fight could change your whole career.
2-3 seconds away from
finishing Fury,
back in the day.
Another ref would have counted Fury out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but that rematch, and I think the trilogy as well, messed him up. It definitely messed him up.
Who did he fight? The fight before this one, was it Parker?
Parker lost.
Yeah, he didn't rate in that one
No,
either.
to be honest, he did win against the Swedish guy. I always forget his name, but it's that Swedish guy, the tall guy. I should know his name, but I forgot his name. He fought Joshua as well a while back.
What was it?
Not to Wallen. It's I forgot his name, but he knocked him out. But that Parker fight, which was a weird one, I thought he would.
His come up when he was fighting like Ortiz and that, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But also,
Zhang battered him though. Did you see that last night?
Yeah. Zhang, to have Wilder face the other way.
But people think he was
back.
No. He caught him with a check hook.
Yeah. I'm saying he landed that, and then it was almost like Wilder was looking for that exit.
It would just come
and then he just turned his head a little bit. Boom.
With Zhang, and what people think about Zhang, Zhang's 41. I think he went pro late though. That's the thing. So he doesn't have a lot of miles on the clock.
Who was Zhang's last fight before this?
Zhang's last fight was the loss against Parker.
Yeah,
which was a close fight that could have went either way, but it wasn't like he got patted. Now they're talking about doing Dubois Joshua. I want to see Zhang Joshua. I mean, that's a better fight. You look at Dubois.
Yeah. They're talking about Dubois.
Yeah,
Dubois AJ Wembley.
No, because he beat Hrgovic last night as well. Dubois was on 5v5. He was doing well, but if he went for that cut, would Dubois have won? Do you know what I mean? It's not a thing where he was battering him, it was back and forth. If that fight went 12 rounds, you could easily say Hrgovic would have nicked it. So Zhang for me is a better fight, but Zhang is a risky fight because we know what Eddie Hearn wants to do. He wants that Fury Joshua fight. Joshua's not fighting Usyk again. He's banking on he's banking on Fury beating Usyk in the rematch and making that Joshua Fury fight at Wembley.
I think AJ is just at home now and he's just like, damn. Now that there's a rematch clause with him and Usyk, he's just going to have to fight Dubois, which is like, it's just not the same. If he would have fought Fury or somehow got another fight with Usyk, those are such big fights. No, Daniel Dubois is just like, I think AJ beats him.
Yeah.
But like, it's not like it's not like a massive, and those are the tricky fights. Just like we're talking about, back to MMA and UFC, those fights where like maybe Leon Edwards, he's like Bilal's light work. When we was in the Apex, I smoked him. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna go in Manchester at 5 a.m. and I'm gonna smoke him. But I mean, fighting at 4-5 a.m.
Yeah, nah.
6 a.m. It's mad.
I was gonna get tickets, but I'm put off getting tickets now. Cause what's the point? What's the point of bringing a pay-per-view?
For the price that it is.
What's the point of bringing a pay-per-view to the UK? Look, you look at the boxing last night, just not even boxing thing, but the time-wise, it was in Saudi, so they made it to suit the Saudi fans. Yeah, the main event was 11 p.m. Yeah, which is perfect. They've bought pay-per-views to the UK before, the O2. Yeah, when Leon fought.
Well, do you remember back in the day, Bisping Henderson in Manchester? That was in the AMs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But then they reverted back for the Usman.
For the Usman fight, it was a perfect timing. The main event was like 11:30. Usman, the trilogy was was it the rematch of the trilogy? Trilogy. It was at 11 p.m., which was perfect. I can watch the fight go to.
But like, what time is that?
I'm sleeping at 7 in the morning. Yeah. You know what I mean?
What time is that in America? Like that's like lunchtime, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, somebody explained it to me how they're trying to suit the American fans because obviously they bring a bigger percentage of the pay-per-view in terms of the revenue. And they don't want to lose out on it, which I understand. Yeah. But come on, like 6 in the morning, what's the point? You might as well done it in Vegas. Why are you bringing it to Manchester if you're going to do that? What's the point?
Yeah, no, 100%. And then not only that.
It's not even safe. Like, you're going to have a lot of drunk fans that are half asleep. It's going to be chaos.
And then the McGregor Chandler coming up, that's in the AMs. And you have to pay extra because it's on pay-per-view.
Yeah, but is that not final in Vegas?
No, I'm saying, you know how like BT Sport, they do BT Sport box office every time. Whether they done that for the Edwards Usman, so you have to pay extra even if you've got TNT Sports.
Of course.
But
we'll pay 100%.
Yeah, but like
we'll pay.
The thing is, I don't know. I mean, this month of June, UFC related. So we've done UFC 302. Got Imavov. Who's Imavov fighting? Cannonier. That's an important fight in the middleweight division.
But Imavov's. I mean, he was calling out Strickland the other day, saying, "I want
he wants a rematch."
Strickland was laughing at him, like, "Mate, you will never fight."
He got dealt with.
He dealt with him, handy, and I think Cannonier will deal with him as well. Cannonier's a serious guy, man.
Yeah, he just doesn't fight regular.
No, I mean, it's harsh to say, but he's probably a gatekeeper now, Cannonier. But
he's still like top 5.
I mean, he's the most dangerous. I don't see him winning the belt. I don't see him troubling any of the top guys. He's got the power, but I don't see him. I mean, how old is he as well? I mean, he's definitely past 40.
He's probably touching 40.
Yeah, so
I can't even lie.
But he's probably the scariest gatekeeper in the world. He's completely different to Holland, where he will knock you out. If you're not on it, he will knock you out.
Do you remember the Derek Brunson? Where he was just landing mad elbows. That fight was crazy. And then he's got a win over Strickland as well. Even though that one was like contentious and stuff. Yeah. But and then then obviously we're gonna have the Chimaev Whitaker. I know that's cracker. Towards the end of the month.
We've got the
there's
McGregor
one in
card.
between.
Yeah.
There's like it's someone new but it's at the Apex.
Didn't Dana say he's
Alex Perez against someone? It said like a flyweight. But so that's a bit of a somewhat dead rubber. Yeah. But
didn't they say they get rid of the Apex fights?
Yeah, but then it's still gonna.
Why do they even have the Apex to do fights? What is it?
It's just so convenient.
Is it just saving money? Is it a money thing?
No, I think it's just so convenient, especially for like the smaller like cards. Like,
probably the
local. Are you gonna put, for example, Barboza and Lerone Murphy? Yeah. Are you gonna no? You're gonna put it in the Apex. Right. So, and
that McGregor card that's coming up, it's pretty stacked. You've got Jamal. You've got Jamal Hill on the undercard.
What is stacked?
No, as in not stacked, as in more stacked than usual for a McGregor pay per view, because we know what they do when it comes to McGregor. They basically know that it will sell out. They know it will do $1 million minimum, so they make the card crap. Yeah. But you look at the co-main,
because like
Jamal Hill, Oldberg. He's fighting Oldberg. Now he was meant to fight Khalil Roundtree. We know what happened.
That was so.
But Oldberg's a better fight.
You think so?
I think Oldberg's a bigger threat.
So Roundtree basically came out and said, "Oh, I took something I shouldn't have taken." Yeah. So he's not even gonna get banned a long time because he's owned up to it. But he can't make UFC 303. Yeah.
But I think this Oldberg fight.
Other than that, what else?
You've got Ian Gary MVP.
But that's it.
That's it. I'm talking. That's better than usual for a McGregor.
Okay, but I'm talking stack meter UFC 300.
No, that's never gonna happen again. Though. We'll probably see that at UFC 400.
You think so?
A card that good. That card lived up to every expectation. And for me, the way people were disrespecting
is it best card of all time?
For me,
the argument, isn't it? For me, best knockout of all time.
I mean, what's that card where McGregor fought? Was it 2-0 205. That was a
with
cracker.
Khabib.
Yeah, and you had Khabib on the year.
No, not Conor fighting Khabib, but Khabib
you had Garbrandt. You had Garbrandt and not Cruz.
Garbrandt and Dillashaw.
Yeah, Garbrandt Dillashaw was on that card. I think Bisping was on that card as well.
Bisping. No, 205 wasn't GSP Bisping.
No, it wasn't, was it?
But yeah, 205. I mean,
205 was a
double champ, first double champ.
I think Joanna was on that 205 card.
Maybe.
Yeah, but that
against Rose.
Yeah, but I don't think we'll see a card as stacked as that UFC 300 card again.
But also, they've announced, so they're going back to Paris, and someone who fought yesterday, Almeida, he's called out Cyril Gane.
Oh, that's a cheeky fight with Almeida as well. For me, he's very disrespected. Obviously, he lost to Curtis Blades, who's also fighting on that card, same card as Edwards. No, that's a good fight. That's for another.
I expect Tom Aspinall to win now, man.
Yeah, no, me too. But like I said, you never know, innit? You never know. You never know, because for me, what if Curtis Blades just takes him down, holds him down? What if? I mean, I've not seen Aspinall submit someone.
He won't do that.
But I've not seen Aspinall submit someone off his back. I've not seen Aspinall
off his back. No, but he submitted Volkov.
No.
He's choked out.
No, 100%. No, he can grapple. But for me, with Aspinall, a lot of people get annoyed at me when I say this. Have you ever seen him go 5 rounds? No. Do we know what his gas tank is like?
But the fight against Pavlovich, he had no camp. He just wanted to swing. He managed to get.
No, 100%. We know what he's like in the early rounds. We know he's got power.
But he hasn't fought someone who's brought him to.
This might be the fight. What if Aspinall doesn't have the condition that we think? What if he doesn't have heart? We don't know. We don't know what he's like after the 3rd round, where it's a back and forth fight and he has to dig in. That's why people that tell me he's gonna.
You can't say. I don't know if Tom's not got heart, because he flew to America on 3 weeks' notice to fight Pavlovich.
No, he's quality. He's quality. He's quality. I'm not questioning his like determination. No, he wants to fight, but I'm saying people are saying he's gonna finish Jones. Yeah.
No.
What I'm saying is that him and Jones, if they get in that cage and it's a back and forth fight, and he's not having it all his way, it's a championship round.
Yeah.
We've not seen Aspinall in that situation. So that's for me. That's
a big fair point. But at the same time, we need to see John Jones what he looks like after pec surgery against Miocic.
No, you're right. And that is why he's taking that Stipe fight. People are getting onto him, but it's a smart thing.
Yeah, it's a smart move.
He cannot fight Aspinall fresh off surgery.
I mean, we could talk all day about Jones, Miocic riding off into the sunset. I don't think both of them will fight again. No. Gotta be honest. Jones, he'll beat Miocic.
You see Stipe on pads the other day?
Yeah, he just looked mad slow.
Did not look good.
So if they make the Almeida Cyril Gane, at least that's a fresh matchup, because if Cyril Gane fights a Tabora Spivak, no, I don't want to see that, because I like the Paris cards. The Paris cards are actually really entertaining.
It's a nice European card.
They're proper up for it.
No, the Paris fans they may be the best fans in Europe.
Yeah. Even the PFL.
You look at Cedric Doumbé.
Yeah.
You look at Doumbé, the crowd, the way he's
going to fight Perez, which is it's a madness.
I wanted the UFC to sign that guy, man.
Cedric Doumbé. But who's
a better kickboxer, him or?
Yeah, but he's a proper troll of the highest order. Like he brings like beds saying like this is where your head is.
He's a serious guy, but he's confident.
Yeah.
You look at his kickboxing record. Am I right to say his kickboxing record is better than Pereira's? Did he not do more in kickboxing than Pereira? Or was his record not better?
Need the stats, but he was definitely.
But he was definitely on that level, on par at least.
Yeah.
Now, of course, welterweight's different. You've probably got better grapplers at welterweight, so he might get exposed a little bit. The heavier you go, the less grapplers there are, especially at middleweight. There's not middleweight, sorry, light heavyweight, where Pereira is. There's not really any wrestlers that can expose him right now.
Yeah.
He comes to welterweight, he's in a bit of trouble. You've got guys like Shavkat, you've got Bilal Muhammad. I'm talking in the UFC.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see him in the mix. That welterweight division with Shavkat, Bilal Muhammad, Leon Edwards, Magdalena, Ian Gary, MVP now, and you put Cedric Doumbé in there.
Yeah, that would have been a madness.
I mean, but I don't know what Dana was thinking not signing him. I don't know why. I mean,
but he's got so much freedom in the PFL. Now that it's like PFL Bellator, that he can do whatever he wants to do in those events. They accommodate for him. The UFC wouldn't have done that.
He's the face. 100%.
He's the face.
Main guy.
I hope he doesn't spend too long there.
No, I mean, I don't know what kind of contract he signed. Maybe a 7-8 fight contract. But once that's done, I mean, I don't know how old he is. I think he's early 30s. May come to UFC.
Yeah.
Use those years to really polish your grappling, your takedown defense, your wrestling. We know you've got the striking.
Yeah.
Just polish the other areas of MMA and come to the UFC.
Yeah.
It is maybe smart to start off in those lower organizations to kind of build yourself up and then come to the UFC. Don't kind of go into the UFC fresh off kickboxing. That's not a good idea.
I don't know how old he is, but
he's not old. He's not old.
He shouldn't.
He's mid-30s at the latest. He's mid-30s at the latest. Yeah. He's not.
One thing I wanted to talk about going back to yesterday was you know the Randy Brown fight, the eye pokes with the ref.
Yeah, that ref got a bollocking as well. And speaking of refs, I can't believe we didn't mention this.
With the judging.
That ref in the judge.
Yeah.
The Costa fight.
Yeah.
One judge had Costa winning.
Was it 49-46 Costa? Mad.
The guy's a disgrace.
The judging in MMA is actually nuts.
It's a disgrace. 49-46 for Paulo Costa. What was he watching? I was half asleep and I was still a better judge than him.
He multiplied the leg kicks.
He's a disgrace.
Like for every leg kick he
gave Costa the first 4 rounds. It was a split decision win for Strickland.
Yeah, that would have been.
Imagine they robbed Strickland. He would have lost. Strickland would have locked off the whole place. Strickland, man.
But another thing about yesterday, you see the welcome Trump got?
Yeah.
Madness. Trump, my God. Trump. You'd think he was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
No, Trump, he got a guilty verdict. I don't know what that court case was about. Yeah, but it's a weird one. It's guilty, but it's free. How does that work?
It's politics, innit?
Rich people, innit?
It's mad, but when Dana was walking with Trump, and he's just there and that. But he's just like, bro, it was literally like it was being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
But with Dana though, he's very friends with Trump because I remember back in the day, nobody wanted to give their arenas to the UFC. This was at the start.
You could use and
he was giving them the Trump Tower, so it's a thing where you always owe it to him, innit? Trump is a big reason why the UFC is where it's
like. They were chanting F Joe Bidden as well.
Yeah, but
then he just looks up and he's just like,
no, they love him. They love him. All the fighters show him respect as well.
Even Khabib. He mentioned Palestine and stuff. It was crazy.
Everyone loves him.
Yeah,
everyone loves him.
But overall, gotta be honest, UFC 302. Other than the main event, it was a little underwhelming.
Before the main card, it was tight.
Yeah,
let's be real.
Like, if I had to grade it, it's probably like a 6.
6, yeah. You're right.
What's a 10? Yeah, UFC 300.
10 or just underneath it.
It was a 6. But going back to the main point, Dustin Poirier, Islam Makhachev, amazing fight. I stand corrected because I honestly thought Dustin was gonna get dealt with swiftly.
No.
He was gonna get.
Me too. I can't lie.
And the takedown defense, the work that he put out, the grit that he showed. Yeah. Honestly, I hope Dustin does not retire because he's got so much left to give to us fans, UFC fans. Yeah. And obviously, I don't think he's doing it for the money, but he's got so much more money to make. But if his heart is not into it anymore, then if he honestly wishes to ride off into the sunset, we can only wish him happy retirement. Since I've been watching the UFC, that's a legend right there. Every single time 100%. We tune into his fights.
We love Dustin, man.
Dustin,
he's the guy, man.
He's the guy.
And if he sees this, don't retire. Don't retire.
No, honestly, he's the man. Yeah. And not only that, big up Islam Makhachev because
he's a dog in him, man. Quality,
you got to respect it.
It should be a good summer, man, for UFC cards. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's
UFC 302 review. We'll be back with loads of reviews, loads of talking about the hottest topics regarding MMA on our YouTube channel.
MMA, boxing,
Spotify
everything.
Will be there. All the episodes will be released as well. So watch out for that.
Follow us on socials as well.
Socials, everything.
Punches and Pundits. Mo Talks MMA as well on all platforms.
We'll be there locked in. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Take care, guys.